Hi, let's put this anew. So, to the extent that one ages and to the extent that one thinks that one has a perversion over time and over space and over proclamation, I think as I filter through even the most obtuse and the most, what do you call it? Not an autodidact, but an autistic scale, like quote unquote on the spectrum sort of human that somehow takes sort of some sort of categorical positioning, thinking that their array of the data is expressed differently or more uniquely or somehow differently interpreted than somebody of, let's say, like benignly a lower IQ, or even though I do hate, and I dissuade anyone from bonding with the notion of IQ or a solidification of a single number associated with a human in its variance, in the variability and the variance and variability of a human, meaning all of that which musically and artistically, aesthetically, logically spoken, like no human. And I'm just gonna say this, right? So take it for whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a fuck. So what it is, every human speaks with a different lexical ordering than any other human. It just happens to be the case. Like you can't pre-predict your offspring. And let's say that this patterning became like an overt observational spectrum of an AI, an artificial intelligence that was analyzing the history, the forward, the background usage of the word to the forward use of the word, such that it would speculate on any possible future variants, or surprisingly, it would accept any novel variants and drag it in as the new spectral variants. And that's the problem. It's not really a problem, but it has something to do with this idea of countercultural escape. The idea that one may escape from the knowledge of that which is. Meaning, if God penetrates transparently through your whole goddamn index and your whole goddamn mind. And when I say goddamned, I mean it in the most like a benign reverse, like you're fine, you're held up by God. If you weren't held up by God, you wouldn't be where you are right now. And I could just say that, right? I'll just speculate a statement, I'll just put it propositionally forward. Even this guy, Jack Ainstrike, who's this like subliminal atheist, sublime, he's nascent, he holds himself under, he pops himself up in these duplicitous armies of like sycophants to argue something or another about extension. I think that is really ultimately his failing, is that the hypocrisy is not reevaluated with an extensioner nor extension. If he can evaluate and present a hypocrisy in this, then he can get along with this particular shenanigans that he does. Nonetheless, there's a few PhD authors that predecess this particular approach, and I think the approach is interesting. I guess what I want to say, because I'm only on the line so long in these particular rudiments, is like, I think hypothetically you guys should casual out. And by casual out, what I mean is like relax, distribute your notion of consideration that is so far beyond what it is you currently consider like the limit of what it is you believe holds together the formalism that holds your shit together, like your shit band. Like we used to say, like, hey, look, you got a headband and you tied it on. Hey, does that hold your shit together? We'd ask each other, does that hold your shit together? Meaning, is your shit together in that headband? Do you have all of your thoughts together in that headband properly? And if you don't, fuck off. I mean, but I don't really like. You can argue whether anyone does, but I'm just saying, like, if you're conveniently that you do, then congratulations, you pass. If you don't, then you can fuck off. I don't care. Fuck off back to Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Vermont. You East Coast scumbag piece of shit. You don't know it anyway. Okay. God, I'm such an asshole. And for things I really don't know anything about, to be honest. Moral of the story is, um, I don't think you guys are interacting well with one another to the point where you should come to some sort of solidification as a gang tribe that tries to investigate what's actually on the horizon in a law structure, Facebook structure, legal structure. Like it's kind of like an obtusement. You guys are obtuse, and you've been guided. That obtuseness has been presented against like a pantheon of parallels, meaning you've been pressed and you don't even know it. You don't even know it, and I don't even know how to like describe what sort of ignorance you're going through. But I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I apologize. Okay. Okay. So as far as the YouTube channel is concerned, um, I don't really know what to say on that. Like, hold yourself together. Perpetuate as long as you possibly can. Beyond even your torture, you perpetuate as long as your spirit possibly can. X, Y, and Z. I mean it A, B, and C. I'm just saying, like, I I don't particularly like what's happening internally to my phenomenological biological system, but relative to the external world, like, play that game. Always displace outward if it means your endurance. If it doesn't mean your endurance, then fuck it off and go toward your endurance, you dumb shit. As long as possible. As long as possible. I heard nothing of this motard scrotum bag deficit clip clop through the digital landscape. And I apologize. Maybe it's something that you're going to say. And if you can say it, that'd be great. But right now, it's all just robot nonsense. This is a bottle of alcohol, but it's a bottle of tar, or what I call oil, car oil. Here I begin, and thank you, amen. Do not practice this practice at home. It's for witches and experiencers only. I should adopt people on. I should increase my, like, I have a lot of options. I don't want to say I don't have options, but I have some options. And there I could have brought you on, I suppose, an audio partner, or as a visual partner, or as something that is a reiterative re-exactitude or an attempt at re-exactifying what existence is from the internal moment. We want an exactitude or an isomorphism, a one-to-one relationship with that which is external to us, as if everything could be in fact captured from one valence to another. And by valence, I mean not merely epistemology, but like I internally sense a whole history of relationships you guys can never know because they're particular to my existence, and that's my valence. Fuck off. Fuck you. Eat shit and die. Or don't. And thank you and forgive me. And man,